Are you feeling the weight of frustration and stress because your adult child is still living at home? If this is you, you're not alone, and today we're going to discuss this common challenge. In this video, we're going to explore how living with adult children can change the family dynamic, the stress that it can create, as well as provide you with practical tips on encouraging independence. Now, just a little bit of a side note, I do feel like I am well qualified on this topic because I do have 4 millennial kids who have now moved out of the house, are independent, and off my payroll. According to a 2023 Harris Poll survey for Bloomberg, roughly 45% of individuals aged 18 to 29 have chosen to live with their families, a figure that hasn't been this high since the 1940s. The survey showed that over 60% of millennials and Gen Zers have moved back home in the last 2 years. This was primarily due to financial challenges as well as the aftermath of the pandemic. As I mentioned, this video could be a little controversial, and today I'm going to take that controversial stand and speak to those of you who are at your wit's end, who just need those kids to get up, grow up, get out, so that you can regain your house and your life back. Today, I'm going to cover a 4-step plan on how to start transitioning your kids towards independence and, once again, regaining back your house. The first step is recognizing the stress and the pressure put on the family dynamics. Acknowledge the situation. It's normal to be frustrated. Having an adult child in the house can create tension, limit personal space, and create awkward family dynamics. I've spoken to many parents who have feelings of guilt, frustration, and helplessness. One of my clients actually has 3 kids over the age of 25 living in their small ranch home. Almost every year they call me up and they're thinking, you know what, we just need to buy a bigger home. We need to buy a bigger home. At the time when most of my clients who are in their 50s and older are looking to downsize, they're actually looking to buy a bigger home. And so when I said, well, why are you looking to buy a bigger home? Why aren't you looking to downsize? The answer is, I can't get my kids out of the house. They won't tell me when they're going, if they're going to go, and so I just assume they're going to stay. So we now need to buy a bigger house. And in my mind, that's crazy. I mean, you've now got the kids running the roost. The parents have no idea what's going on. And once again, just being, falling prey to the kids' whims of what they want to do, where they want to be, and when they plan on going. So ultimately, if you want them there, then hey, God bless you. That's what you want to do. But if you want them out of the house, you need to start setting some boundaries, rules, and creating an exit plan. As I mentioned earlier in the video, there's no doubt that there's a massive trend of young adults moving back in with their children. So let's kind of discuss, why this is happening and some of the root causes. As I alluded earlier, many of these have to do with economic factors. High living costs, to include student debt and job instability, are common reasons adult children move back home. Understanding these pressures can help foster empathy. Also, what we find is there's emotional barriers. Some adult children may struggle with their lack of confidence in their ability to be able to go out on their own and fend for themselves. As parents, none of us like to see our kids fall down, get hurt, scrape themselves up. However, welcome to adulthood. Now it's time to start adulting. One of the other root causes is entitlement and the expectation of a higher quality of life. Gerald Shapiro, a professor of counseling psychology at Santa Clara University, says too much togetherness can lead to feelings of suffocation and resentment. Multi-generational households can be productive and useful, Shapiro told The Hill in a 2020 interview. But there are some issues. The biggest one is, as soon as kids get back with their parents, no matter how old they are, they regress. And their parents regress. They do it in tandem. My take on this is what they call codependency, where each side is dependent on each other to function. But in doing so, they're not actually getting stronger, but they're weakening each other. And I see this so often with households where you've got 20s and 30-somethings living with their 50s and 60s and maybe even 70-something parents. Before I get into step number 3, the chances are if you're watching this video, it's because you're over 55 and maybe you're thinking of downsizing yourself, and maybe you have one of those pesky kids you can't get out of your house. Well, if that's you and you'd be interested in a referral to a top real estate agent in your area, I'd love to help you out with that. Unfortunately, the dark truth is within the real estate industry is that about 80 to 90% 90% of the realtors out there are absolutely horrible. The good news is that 10 to 20% are really good. Over the 30 years I've been in the business, I've developed a vast network of the top real estate agents throughout the country. So if you'd like a top agent referral in your area, simply click on the link below that says referral, or you can go ahead and scan the QR code that's on the screen right now. It'll prompt you to a form. Fill it out, give me your information. I'll give you a quick call. Don't worry, I won't stalk you or drive you crazy or anything like that, but I will get in touch with you, talk a little bit about what your plans are and how best this agent can help to really make a good handoff to a top agent. So if you're interested in a referral, simply either scan the QR code, click the referral link below, and we'll get you set up on and moving in the right direction. And with that being said, back to the video. The third point I want to discuss is the impact on the parents, balancing of their dreams and reality. As parents, and many of us over 55 who are thinking about downsizing, having an adult child still living in the house can provide a roadblock. Stress can not just strain parent-child relationships, but marital relationships as well. It's essential to communicate openly how the situation affects everybody. The fourth and final factor I want to look at is creating a plan for independence. In creating a plan for independence, it's imperative that clear expectations are set. Have a family meeting to discuss your goals for their independence. Define timelines and responsibilities together. For instance, agree on a target move-out date with steps necessary to meet that milestone. Next, encourage financial responsibility. Help them budget for living expenses. Setting up a savings plan can motivate them to contribute and plan for their future. And I'm going to read you one final quote that Jared Shapiro was quoted as saying in that 2023 article in The Hill. Ideally, parents should work out an arrangement with Boomerang children before they come back, laying out what funds or chores the child will contribute and what boundaries the parents will honor. Shapiro said in the article, it's like a prenup. I thought that was funny, a prenup. Actually, a really good point there. You know, if you have an adult child who has left the home, coming back, no question about it, I think that a prenup is in order just to, once again, clearly spell out expectations of what you expect and what you really are going to require, because guess what? It's your house. So lastly, some of my closing thoughts are encouraging your adult children to leave isn't mean, and it's not about throwing them out of the house. It's really helping them get the skill sets so that they can go on out and create their own lives and their own independence. As I mentioned earlier, keeping channels of communication open to maintain a supportive relationship while promoting their independence. So what I'm interested in hearing is what challenges have you faced having adult children living at home? Let's start a conversation in the comments. And as always, if you have any specific questions about your situation with kids living in the house or anything that has to do with real estate at all, and you'd like to discuss it with me one-on-one, feel free once again to click on that calendar link right below to set up a one-on-one video conference. Also, you can scan the QR code on the screen right now. Love to chat with you a little bit further about any of your real estate plans. So thanks once again for checking out this video, and I will see you guys next week.